Yes, we have to check and see if our game is live and everything's working. And... Oh yeah, you need to let everybody know we're streaming now. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Yep. Hello? Everything's
Yay.
working. Okay, good. Good to know. Everything
Very
is
good to
working.
know.
Checking to see if the chat works real quick. Alright, it looks like it's working to me.
So, by high demand.
Oh yeah, because of you guys voting for it. Today we're doing Cult of the Lambs. Tomorrow we'll be doing Payday 2 and Remnant for the last day of the streams. You know, I should probably keep it on pause for now, just because I just realized if I do that, we still got to go save that person's family
brother.
member? Yeah, brother.
Or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, and if you guys don't know, whoever's not on the Discord, I don't know why you're not. Dusk died.
Yeah, Dusk died. Or you mean in the game? Yeah, he died
in the
game.
In the game, yeah. But you know.
Yeah, as soon as we ended the stream yesterday, we had another follower die, unfortunately. Which we gotta go resurrect him later, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to be near Bub. Should we resurrect Dusk last?
Yeah, we'll resurrect him last.
Okay.
Just for shits and giggles.
Okay. So that means Dusk could, like, Dusk has got a... Yeah, he's got a freebie.
Freebie.
Yeah, he gets freebie for a little while. Let's go! Yeah, Rob. Yeah, we're here. We're all here. Everybody's here. We all acted a damn fool.
We're acting like a damn fool. Alright. Everything is shared. Everything's good. Everything's Gucci. Alright, let's do this.
Alright. We are playing Cult of the Lambs again. Is it chaos time, is what Soldier says? Yes. It's chaos time. Alright. I don't remember...
Oh, we have a new person.
You know, we'll come back for him. Come on. We need to go get that person's brother. We need to travel to the Dark Woods.
Alright.
Which ones are the Dark Woods?
I believe the Dark Woods, my love. That's Nura.
Darkwood. Oh, the first place we ever went to.
Yeah. It's first class.
By the way, I hope we're coming out clear. I hope y'all can hear us.
Sorry for the background noise.
If y'all can hear that.
Which one do you want, dagger or axe?
Well, okay, I guess I'm taking the dagger. Alright, cool game. I wanted the hammer, but I guess not.
It's not a hammer.
It wasn't.
Oh, it is actually.
It's a hammer.
Ugh. Ugly. Ugh.
Okay, let's go get this dude's brother.
Oh, look, we have our, pretty much we just got to do it all again.
Look for this person's family.
Brother. Yeah.
We only have, because we're on limited time right now.
We are limited time.
Strong.
I don't.
You should feel the strongest. Okay, you wanna go
Okay. Up or down?
Let's go down.
Alright.
Hey, look! Mine.
Okay, let's go.
Hang on!
Oh, really? You can... Oh, meet again, babe.
Yes. Look, I already told you. We talked about this the last time, okay? They don't mind eating themselves.
Alright, let's go.
Save the cannibal.
Maybe more cannibals, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Where is this dude's family member at?
I don't know, but I think we gotta go through everything again.
Well, let's go.
Alright. Yay!
30 wall. Okay, cool.
Alright, it's a wall.
Yeah, we know it's a wall.
It's a wall! Alright, where are we going?
Okay, I'm gonna take it that dude's brother is somewhere over here. So we're going this way.
Alright, we'll go that way.
Yeah, we're going this way.
No worries.
Hi, Light Warrior. How you doing?
Hello, Light! Ooh! This is... Babe!
What?
I know what this is!
What?
This is for beer!
Oh, cool!
This is for alcohol!
We're gonna get crunk!
We're gonna get crunked! Alright, we got everything.
Grass. No, these guys eat grass. I'm good. I'm glad you're doing well.
We're happy you're doing well, Light.
Originally I wanted to do Payday 2, but, you know, the high demand.
Apparently, everyone's wanting the lovers to play this.
Cult of the Lamb. Wait, heart. I'd like to eat it.
Look, a heart. Not like I need it.
You don't be stealing my line.
I'm just saying what you say. Yay. Okay, do we want the tarot card? Or are we...
We're just trying to get through this.
We're trying to get through this, right?
Ow!
Awesome! We did it! Okay. Tarot
We got a tarot
card!
card anyway.
Oh, disease heart! Awesome! Another one.
Not that we need it. However, the flowers we could actually...
Yes.
Nothing else we need. Okay, let's go.
Okay. Ooh.
Cross!
Alright. Let's do this.
This better be that person.
This better be him. Oh no.
Gee, how many are y'all?
I don't know. Who are you? Who are you?
Get the hell out of here. Oh,
You did it.
found him. Oh, wait.
What?
The flowers, man. Too late. Go forward now.
Alright. I thought you said that we were rushing it.
We can. All we got to do is destroy this.
Yes.
Alright, let's go.
Oh no. Well.
It teleports us to him. Hey, flowers.
Hi, Leshy.
For the.
Fourth time? Here's your special attack.
Lefty, I'm gonna tell you what monsters those people when he was 2 years old.
Ugly as hell, kid.
I hope he has a license. Better. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Alright. We needed to grab this and we need to go back.
We need to go home. Home.
That was easy.
Here, takes the bit of.
Oh my god. Alright, we also gotta make sure that everybody's okay. You know, we gotta make sure we didn't lose another follower.
No, there was only one person that was old, and 3 people that were old, which were the ones that died.
Hopefully Jay's not old.
Nah, Jay's not old. Damn it! Damn it.
Oh, later, he talked to me.
Look, your brother's. Yay.
Great, now we have to make 2 beds, and my controller's done. Find inspiration in life. Cool.
Oh, did you want to do the inspiration?
Yes. We can get a propaganda speaker.
Do you want to do that?
Yo, so I'm dead, huh? Yeah, you're dead. You died.
You died. You're right next to Ludge, too.
Yep.
Missionary?
You wanna get the missionary?
I guess, right? Or wait, what do we need?
What's this?
Best decorations.
What do we need?
Offering statue?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, you guys can offer. Oh God, no. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Ludge. Yeah. We need more beds. 2 beds to be exact.
There we go. Okay, and then I think we have enough to get them sheltered.
Jeez, you guys are just growing.
So many followers.
This is bad.
This is bad.
Yes, we have too many followers now.
So I owe him $1. Help me.
Well, I mean, I'll think about it. But if I help you, you owe me $1.
Alright, so we gotta
Convert him. We haven't made Pops yet, right?
No, we haven't.
We can make Dad. We can make my dad.
Well, make him a moose.
You gonna make Pops a moose?
I don't know. What do we make him?
Is there a bull?
I don't think there's a bull yet.
Wait a minute, is there a cow by any chance?
Yes.
We'll make one.
Okay. What's your mom's favorite color?
Pink.
Ew.
Final battle, you need 20 followers. Oh, for the final battles, we need 20 followers to access it. Ah, crap. I guess we need more followers anyway.
That one? Or that one?
No, the first one.
First one?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, Gabe. What are you gonna name her?
What my nephew calls us. Mima!
Okay.
Okay.
Mima.
Go down. Get it.
So, she's cynical.
Of course. And we can pet her. I'm not gonna pet my mom.
Your mom is cynical?
Yeah, my mom's evil.
In real life, too. Yeah.
Yeah, I know she's evil, alright?
Worship us. Oh, wait.
Hold on. What? Oh, crap. Jolty.
So who's gonna be Jolty?
I don't know, you have friends.
Do I have friends?
Yes, you have plenty of them.
Oh,
who
shit,
else do
I
we need to
do.
create? Girlfriends.
Well...
Yo, we still need to make... Oh, wait, yeah, you were supposed to make a turtle, that's right. You could give him a big head. You go give him small brain.
Small brain.
Yeah.
Alright.
Make a dollar store version of Firo. We'll do that later.
Moon. There.
Okay.
So, Moon,
what are their
what
traits?
do you have? So you are Snorer.
Will wake nearby sleeper. Oh crap! On recruiting, this follower gains 10. Okay, that's good. Easy to love. Okay,
They're
cool.
dull.
Gullible. Good, good.
That's true about Moon.
These are your. Might I add, babe? These are your friends you're talking about.
I know.
Put them to
I
work.
know. Tented Farms.
I gotta make sure nothing's going on over here.
Also, make sure there's like no shit there. People or evil.
Food all over the place. Yeah, we know. This thing is filled. We should probably start making stuff. Now that I think about it.
Alright, what are we gonna make?
We already have a crypt which can hold
Yes, we already.
5. We have most of this here.
Mm-hmm.
We have this. Oh yeah!
Go ahead.
You guys can now offer us things. I'm gonna put it right near y'all's place of comfort.
Is that a good idea?
Yes. It's that way they're always knowing they can think of us anytime they want. When you're thinking about us, drop $1. Just kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
We'll be sure to make it. We'll be sure to make a beautiful, beautiful donation area for you guys in real life.
We are. Ah, it's my turn. You did it last time.
Oh.
Alright, everybody come to church. There are so many of them.
Not enough. We don't have
There's so many of them.
Nah,
There's too many of y'all.
there's not enough. Guess what, Gabe? We get to do another one.
Another doctor.
No.
Okay, let's finish up this one real quick.
Okay. Encourage trade, so 20 fate. When brainwashing ritual is performed. Huh. We'll do the other one. That one seems like a safer bet option.
Well, so brainwashing them seems like the safer option.
It does seem like the safer option. Because the other one will make him sick.
Fair enough. Another one? Holy crap. Okay. Everybody get out.
Get the heck out of here! So if you guys don't know, we are trying to hit 200 subs.
Let's see if y'all can make that happen.
Share the stream,
Oh yeah, we need to feed them.
you fools.
We're gonna feed
Feed
them.
them grass.
You want me to feed them grass?
We have enough grass for it.
We have enough grass to go around. I guess everybody's gonna be cows today.
Yep. Alright.
Hey, you guys don't mind eating grass anyway.
You guys are fine. You're fine.
Why are we forcing them to eat grass?
Oh yeah, you can sell things there.
Yeah, we're not selling anything.
What are we gonna make?
You know, we can do the decoration stuff later because we
Off
do
screen?
need, yeah, we can do that off screen because that's gonna be a lot to do.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna have to go to Calamar and Anchor's Deep.
And something about relic, something about a relic.
Yeah. We do hope that you guys are enjoying the stream. This is all y'all's fault.
Yes, everything is y'all's fault.
Okay, Gabe, which one you want?
Jeez, I'll just take the first one that I could pick.
We both get a hammer. How pretty is that?
Oh, it's not that bad.
Oh,
Who the hell are you?
Funkle and Bop. Hello, wee lamb. I'm seeing you from somewhere. I'm Funkle, and this is Bop. Oh, the worm. We're off to our friends at night and drinking and pool party.
We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful wizard.
But he lost his hand in a bet.
He lost his hand in a bet.
Talk about outplaying your hand, haha. It was hilarious. I win it back though. Say you should come and you seem tough, rich, and fond of risks. Perfect for
perfect
knuckle
knuckle
bones.
Another person to play knuckle bones with.
Alright.
Yeah.
That's fine, buddy.
I get to do some more gambling. Alright.
Yeah, gambling. Gambling time.
I love gambling. Of course, I love gambling.
Alright, up or down?
I'm grabbing stuff. Crystal shards? What the hell? Let's go up. I don't know why.
That seems like a safe option.
Maybe.
Okay, so we should probably go down.
Yeah. We're going down.
Oh,
I I caught dibs. My turn.
Oh no. Which one do you want?
I'll take the disease.
Alright.
I like how we're fighting over who gets what.
We don't really fight.
No, you complain.
Josh! Yeah.
We need whatever the hell these things are, the crystal shards. Maybe for decorations, who knows? I didn't think we were gonna get this one.
You didn't think that we were gonna get far in the game?
No.
I didn't think there was gonna be a lot of people that demanded.
Yeah, you know. You guys are wild.
Oh my gosh, Gabe, it's Mr. Krabs.
Squashed his ass. It was Mr. Krabs.
He was our enemy.
You know, every time I think of Mr. Krabs, I think of Soldier doing Why did you build a second Krabs Krab?
Money.
Ah, shit, I'm late, but I'm here.
Hi, Grum.
Yeah, hello, welcome.
Guess what, Grum? We already made Moon. Oh, acquire crystal statue. Sweet.
We're all here, we're all having fun. I'm off screen now.
Okay, so where are we going, Gabe?
Mm.
We need more followers, Gabe.
No! Also, yay, Moon is here!
Ayo!
Grapes?
Oh, grapes!
Grapes?
For wine? Maybe?
Who cares? The point is we got grapes now.
Yes! Yes, we have acquired it.
You can get that now. Go grab this stuff. The moment I can, I'm gonna change this freaking hammer.
Oh, I would love to change the hammer. Oh, which one? You want a better one?
You can choose.
I want.
You want to be able to shoot people?
Because, listen, I have the other one, which is like throwing the ball of acid.
I have tentacles.
Well, no.
I have. You want to be immune to poison?
I'll be immune. We're going. Oh, shit.
Be careful, I know. Oh, it wasn't too bad.
Crystal.
Yeah, I already got some over here.
Oh, I wonder if we hit these. No.
No. Wow, oh shit.
Hi, Mr. Krabs.
Bye, Mr. Krabs.
Is that invisible?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it's food! Ah!
Wow, we got spiders.
Spider meat.
I still don't know how the hell we're supposed to cook that for them. I guess everybody gets,
Hi, Calamari. You're... I understand the play-by-play, by the way, why their name is Calamari.
Wait, what's going on? Ah, shit!
A squid.
Well, it's a good thing we have the medical area, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But only we could put people in there.
So we're gonna have to put everybody to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we should probably hurry then, because everybody's sick. Forgot about that, but they explode.
Forgot that they explode.
Yeah, I forgot that they explode. What do we get?
Should have fit.
One attack, 10% chance to negate that. Oh, nice! No, I'm sick. Yeah, I'm sorry, Rob. You got sick.
Oh, look, we get to go to a shop.
Don't hurt the worm.
I
beast.
want to kill the worms.
Okay, we want meat, cauliflower, or cauliflowers. We have seeds. No! Leave the worms alone.
Why?
They're just worms. They ain't doing nothing to anybody. They ain't hurt nobody.
That means I can't kill the snail, huh?
No.
Damn. Calamar, just because you have a harem doesn't mean that you can make them sick. You know, there's a lot of people that's sick of calamar.
Ow.
It's because it's tentacles.
Oh, I got a better version.
Recycle it.
I was trying to
Which
recycle
one?
it.
Up or down? Up or left?
I'm going down.
Okay. This seems like the right way.
I'm actually taking damage. There's a lot of damage.
It does, but like.
Super slow. We need a
Oh,
speed.
this is the wrong way, so we're good.
See, look. You were doubting my, my sense of direction.
What's sense of direction?
I have sense of direction, I'll have you know.
That's the one that forgets where monsters live sometimes.
I don't forget where my own brother lives.
You tell me it's a certain way, and then I tell you no, it's this way, and then you get stumped because I actually take you in the right direction, and you're like, how can you do that without knowing the street name?
We're going this way. Hey, they got floating things over here now.
Okay.
We got we have plenty of bones. I think we have plenty of bones to bring back to us. Oh, it's right there. Oh, nice.
Look, you get to have the half heart, okay?
Why, you get the blue ones?
Yeah.
Fine.
You get
Okay. How do you know I didn't want the blue ones?
Did you want the blue?
Maybe?
Hello! Cover him.
Ah, that hurt! That was quick.
Come to my home. Okay, Gabe. Big gift.
I got another gift for Jay.
For Jay? Babe, we need to give gifts to everybody.
I favored.
We're not gonna favor anybody.
But Jay.
But I don't care.
If she's going to do that, I will entertain you guys. Alright, y'all entertained enough? No? Go to hell. You and that laugh, I swear.
He gave me such a look.
Alright.
Okay, we gotta heal people.
Hang on, it's nighttime right now. They're already bedroom. Maybe we should move the big schnorrer out of the way.
Hi, Jay. Oh, this minute. What mess?
Crap. Remember, everybody's throwing up.
Oh, crap. Okay. Babe. What are you doing, babe?
Hang on. Oh, we need a... Hang on.
Devoted fertilizer.
Hold on, JD.
What the heck is devoted fertilizer? Yeah, just heal everybody.
Doing my best. Okay, that's one heal. Hang on, first we should probably clean up the area. Just because they can eat it doesn't mean we can.
But we can. You got devoted fertilizer, by the way.
Oh my god. We leave for a few. Oh, somebody's bed broke. I got it.
You want me to heal them?
Yeah, go ahead. Start healing them one at a time. You have a schnorrer. They'll wake up the other cultists unless they are moved away. Yeah, we should probably. Babe, we need to make a bed far away from everybody else.
Mel.
You know, we just got them better. Oh. Who's next?
Rob.
Oh, Rob says it was all that grass we fed him. No, it wasn't.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we don't have enough.
Okay. We healed as many as we could. Okay. So.
How about you give me a hand? So we can plant the flowers. And we do need to move the snorer away.
Okay, then move the snorer.
So that means we need to make a little bed.
Okay. That's fine. Oh, we gotta do another sermon.
Well, it's your turn. There. What the hell is that?
That's devoted fertilizer.
Devoted fertilizer.
Okay.
Alright, let's go do the sermon.
Oh, you're doing it?
Oh, my bad.
Sermon time.
The ones that couldn't be here are excused. They're gonna die just because they couldn't show up because they were sick. That's messed up, babe.
You do a ritual.
Oh yeah, we need to bring back a certain somebody. So who are we bringing back?
Alright, we have two. Dusk or Lunch.
You know what? Lunch can stay on the ground a little bit longer. We'll just bring Dusk back.
Alright.
Yeah, screw Lunch.
I guess not.
Try it again. Wait, is it not ready yet? Can we not do it yet?
Oh, the faith. Should be fine, right?
Yeah, we should be fine. Huh, I guess we
Guess
can't.
not.
Okay, I guess we can't bring back anybody. Man, let's hope they don't become a zombie when they resurrect. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to be stay in the dirt for a little bit longer. Oh, my poor brother is still sick. No, is what Dust said.
Oh, look, babe, we get nothing.
Okay, what are we getting next?
Do we want the tabernacle, which will give us cheaper rituals, shrine, flame bundle?
Yeah, we can do that.
This one?
Yeah, we can do the tabernacle. I don't know what the hell it's for, but we can do it.
It's a place for followers and not working. And then they get that and that.
Alright, we can do that.
So that'll make it.
Tabernacle. But where the hell is it? There's the Leshy trophy.
It's in Faith, probably.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
there it is.
You could put it like, I don't know, put it down there where the lanterns are, like next to the lanterns. You could do 2 of them. Hold on, monkey.
Oh, Napoleon wants something. Man, what the hell do you want, Napoleon? I'm busy here.
Been talking and tired of the food here. Give me a variety. Make us some fish dishes.
I can do that real quick. Here, you keep working, Lovely.
How can I keep working?
A fish dish, he says. Tasty fish meal.
Do that one.
Alright.
Just do one.
You know, people need to eat anyway, so you know what? You guys get lucky today. Y'all are gonna have some berries. Here, Napoleon, come get your damn fish.
He's not getting the fish.
Perform Ocean Bounties Ritual. Okay, so I guess we do need to perform a ritual. Alright, you guys get lucky. We're doing a ritual today. I didn't mean to do the sermon.
Dude, ritual. What do you know?
I don't know.
Do that.
Oh, hello, Cherry. How you doing?
Hi, Charlie. I made you a pink fox.
Oh yeah, you made her a dark, hot pink fox. How about that? Alright, everybody should be happy. Alright, everybody get the hell out.
Get out of here.
Oh, look. Thank you.
Hold on. Let's show Cherry since she's here.
Oh,
Hello,
yeah.
Cherry.
The game always fascinates me. Me and y'all are scary. We are confident. We're not that confident. We're pretty confident, but
Oh, there she is.
that's a bird. No, there's Cherry.
I already took all her devotion.
You took all of her
I
devotion.
took her devotion. Oh, look, see, they're praising right here.
Good enough. We should probably move the snorer away, though. Which one of them was the snorer? Is that Moon?
That's Moon.
Where's Moon? Okay, we need to move Moon's bed.
Alright, so let's make him a new bed.
Yeah, move
And
him.
we'll move
Move him,
him
like-
all the way over here.
Move him all the way down there? Damn! Okay, well, yeah, that'll work. I feel bad, but, you know, sorry,
They
Moon.
are snower. So now we could assign it.
So, Moon. Where's that big headed ass?
Right there.
Where's Moon's bed?
Right there, so reassign it to somebody else.
Somebody that's not... Give it to Soul... God damn it. Yep, perfect. Hang on. We got a new follower anyway. Who are we going to create? Okay, what are your traits? Skeptical. And strong constitution. Why is that... Is that the quotations? You know what? Let's make,
Who do we make?
we got chicken.
Okay, so who's gonna be the chicken, Gabe? Who's the chicken, Gabe? Oh no.
I'm so sorry if you're watching this. If you... I love you, sis. Oh, she's gonna fucking kill me.
She's gonna kill you.
She's gonna kill me.
Your sister's gonna kill you.
Oh shit.
Worship us.
Yeah, let me assign the new bed.
Sign it. Are you
Moon.
sure that's Moon's bed?
Yes, this is Moon's bed. Set it. Where the hell is my older sister? There you are. Why can I not reassign shit?
Is the game glitched?
I have no idea. It might be glitched.
Do you want to get out and then come back in?
No, fine. We'll just have to deal with, you know,
Moon.
just have to deal with Moon snoring a lot. Gay chicken. Oh. Alright, so,
Alright, I guess we're gonna have to go back to Anchor's Deep. Or did you want to
wait, no,
play?
we gotta wait for, Jay to recover still.
Babe, we could come back to it.
Oh, Jay needs to recover.
Babe, we could come back to
I'm not
it.
leaving without him being healed.
Oh my gosh, Gabe. Knuckle bones.
I don't care about knuckle bones.
Babe, we need to give content. Stop it.
Oh, fine, I'll go play knuckle bones. The game might be glitched. Yeah. Ah, fuck it. We're just gonna keep playing anyway.
Alright, do it, babe.
Yeah, I get to play against the worm and the no-hand guy. You know, I got a question, dude. How the hell do you still play? I know you got one hand. And he gives me a 1.
Go lay down, Betty.
And now I got a 2. I got another 1. The hell is this shit?
I think he's cheating.
Jesus!
Yes.
That's okay, he's got no more points now.
That was stupid of him.
Shit!
Oh my gosh. And we're good.
Just put the 5 there, I don't have much of a choice. Mainly because I just don't want you to win. Just gonna put that there. You gotta be kidding me.
Right there.
I win!
Look, we won. Yay!
Barely. Okay, the next person will be shiny unless you have... No, we don't. So we need
We
to
haven't
make
made shiny yet.
Yeah, so the next person will be shiny. Ah, not bad. Take this. Here. What did we get? What did you give us?
Strength from without.
Receive 5 favor. Oh, okay. Good. But I don't like the idea of getting hit. So we should probably go fishing if we had any common sense.
Well, then let's go fishing, Gabe.
Because we used that fishing thing, so we may as well use it.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know how long we're going to play today. And it's mainly just because I'm hungry. Come to me! No, don't go outwards. Come to me. Come to me. Yay!
Yay! Fish some more.
Oh, I didn't mean to throw that far. Come to me, my small friend.
I have to wait for you.
Look, I'm trying to get... Hey!
Yay!
And what can you do, my fine feminine fellow?
I'm not saying Never say it.
All right, we got plenty of stuff, I think. Go back to the cult.
Napoleon has what?
What about Napoleon? What?
Napoleon has escaped or something like that.
What? Napoleon?
Oh.
No!
No!
He's old.
I punched you.
Am I only able to eat grass? Can someone give me some
We're only gonna give you grass.
You anybody only eats grass here. Okay, so you're not gonna have to deal with it.
So we need flowers.
Well, we're already growing some flowers, so it should be okay. But they're gonna take a while. Alright. I can't believe it. Napoleon got old on us. Damn. That's a shame.
Alright, babe,
Oh,
we
crap.
gotta do another sermon.
Well, hold on. We should probably build another one of those, shouldn't we? Oh, wait!
Just you two.
Yeah. Alright, who the hell's not using the porta potty? But if it's grass, if you know what I mean. Alright. Who gave the sermon last time? I like how he just lifts his little arms up, just like, eh.
Give me your devotion.
You know, you're getting Jay out of bed, and he's still sicker than a motherfucker.
Alright, so we already finished those. So, what do we want?
Weapon mastery.
Alright.
Yay!
Well, you shouldn't be nocturnal.
You know, why do you have to be rude to my brother?
He shouldn't be nocturnal.
Why do you have to be rude? Why do you gotta be mean to him?
Guess what?
What did my brother ever do to you? I desire
Want to finish this?
Yeah, we can finish that one. I desire brown. Wait, what?
Respect your elders.
Respect your elder. I'll come. Yeah.
We'll do that.
Everybody respects their elders. No. I don't want the grass.
Too fucking bad.
You're gonna eat the damn grass. Okay? If I give you a bowl of shit, you just eat it. I already made that comment yesterday, but I'm making it one more time.
You know what? Because they're saying that, babe.
Me want meat and
Guess
poultry.
what?
You gonna feed them grass?
Just because they said it.
Feed Rob shit.
Oh, okay.
No,
so,
don't do that.
Alright.
Because they're gonna get sick. Just spam the X, my love. Have fun, I'm dead. I want mushrooms is what Lightwork said.
Moon, what do you want? Words later, I will
We demand justice, please, imprisonment. You want me to arrest my mom?
Sure.
You want me to arrest my mother? Hang on, let her finish eating. I'll do it. Mom. Mom, I'm so sorry.
Think about what you did.
I hate you, Moon. How dare he? Or she? What are they?
It's a boy.
It's a boy?
It's a
Okay.
boy.
Alright, Mom.
Re-educate.
No.
No.
We already did what we had to do.
They haven't been in there that long.
know my mother watches these videos, right? I hope you know this.
Hi, Mom. I love you. No, babe. No, not that one.
Is it not that one?
No,
Oh.
it's the wood.
Oh, I almost messed up. This one. We should probably make more of these if I had any common sense. But I don't.
Also, what we could do is this too.
What?
So, whenever we do the shelter and everything, we can actually... We can actually upgrade the shelters, by the way.
Why is moon orange/yellow? Will sun be blue? Oh, they don't know about that.
We'll make Sam's sun and moon also, don't worry.
There we go.
Okay, what are we getting?
I don't know what we're getting. I haven't thought that part.
You want
That
the
part through.
missionary? What do you want?
What's this? Oh yeah, we still need to create this. So I guess we'll do this.
So, Moon is one of our subscribers, basically. Oh, yay. Yay. Take it tab, not we're able to use it.
We need to make a confession booth.
Well, then make the confession booth.
Where is
What do we need for the confession?
Damn, that's expensive.
Alright, then, so we're gonna need to make them here. I know what we have to do.
What are we doing?
I'll make another one.
We were just creating things left and right, front, center. My bad.
And look at
FNAF
you.
ruined me. You're fine.
Look at you, just sitting there.
Fine,
Not
I'll help.
helping.
Fine, I'll help.
And now we use
Read
this.
back. Wait, what? Read back in chat, Leo. What? Cheaper rituals. Oh, okay. Okay, well, I think we got what we needed here.
Alright, so let's go back and
We're still waiting for Jay to recover. That's
Well,
what
we can wait.
No, that's what it's saying for us to wait for him.
Babe, we could be out.
No!
We could be.
He needs to be better! No! My comments, by the way. Oh, which comment, Rob? I'm forced to eat grass. Put me next to dust. To roll with it. No, we're not gonna do that. No! Why are you so mean to Jay? You're mean to him.
I'm not being mean. We don't have to wait there.
It actually says that.
We don't have to
No,
wait
it literally
there.
says that. Look.
It's fine.
She just doesn't like my brother. That's what it is.
I love you.
No, you don't.
Yes, I
No,
do.
you don't. You don't love my brother.
Did you want the axe by the way?
No. That's why I took. That's why I took the claws. It's the claws.
Oh, you got the claws.
Oh shit. Freaking Mr. Krabs over here trying to hit me. By the way, we hope you guys are enjoying the stream
You
still.
You are.
My blue heart.
Oh.
Mine?
Look, we both have.
My card!
Okay. You want the blue heart or red heart?
I'll give you the heart.
We have the same amount of hearts now.
Ow! No, we don't. That hurt.
Yay, gold. And if we waited, it would probably take a few days. And also, we're gonna need to get the flowers anyways.
Shit, hang on, we'll read the chat just... Oh. Okay, well while that's happening, question, can I huff the grass? No, you can't huff the grass. In due time, this yellow fever is doing a huge number of... I think you're already better. Right? Rob's better already?
I believe so.
I don't know. Okay, this looks like the right way to go. Which means I'm going down.
Alright, we're going down. No, this is wrong.
Oh, then we're going back up. Oh, that's why. We have to kill him with the system order.
Oh,
That's dumb.
that's weird. That's never happened before.
What the hell kind of crap is that?
I don't know.
Do you guys play Stardew Valley? My wife does. I don't.
I don't play Stardew Valley.
I don't play Stardew Valley. I thought she did.
No. Sherry's the one that plays Stardew Valley.
Well, one of y'all played it. I don't remember who played it. Toxin grass. I play Stardew Valley. Oh, damn, Dusk. Leo gave me some medicine, and now I'm better.
Okay, so where are we going? Do you want to do that?
Sure, why not?
Alright.
What the hell is this? This looks like cotton.
It is.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You guys were complaining about not having drip. Do we need to make them close?
Later on we'll be able to make clothes, yes.
Man, mistaking Cherry for your wife. Fortune. I'm sorry! Shut. Oh, I know what you're gonna say. Don't. Alright. I know what your feeble little mind is gonna say, my love. Don't do it.
You don't want me to make the joke?
No! That joke is outdated. It's outdated.
Oh no, it's this person again.
Oh! Mike! I don't know what it does, but I wanted it.
You got the loaded dice.
What the hell does that even mean?
You'll see whenever we get to the Calamar area again.
I don't even remember how to use it. The ability.
It's L1. I mean, you can do it now.
Wait. Will you stop moving?
Oh, I could have.
Why did you do that? But
Because it was stronger than the axe.
But axe.
But it was stronger than the axe.
But the axe. I'm so sorry. Ow, that hurt.
Yeah.
You better start looking for some other hearts now, don't you?
I mean, you have enough hearts. You could save me.
That doesn't mean I want to give you one of mine.
So go up, right, for the next one. Right here.
Yeah.
Because we went down.
They're talking about talking about grass.
Oh, okay, that happened.
Grass! Man, you guys are obsessed with grass. Who the hell are you?
It's another one, babe.
Boo. Come on, D. Bee-ha.
Oh, it's a new area.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. Fed, rob, grass. Oh my gosh.
Alright, we'll see you later, bud.
You want to get everything that was in there?
You wanna get everything that's...
Too late. You went forward now.
Go backwards.
Yeah, too late.
Okay, Gabe, where are we going?
We're going straight to the boss.
Okay.
That's what we're going for. We're going straight. Oh, you need that. Aren't you glad I decided to go that way? Yeah, see? Your husband knows best, baby. Yeah, right. You know, I wasn't done getting all that.
You got it.
Douche. Oh, if you kill the jellyfish, you get fish.
Oh, really?
Yes. I just found that out right now. I managed to kill
Okay,
two of
which
them.
way?
I'm going right.
Okay.
Or left. Alright, careful behind you.
Penis?
Yeah.
Should we go backwards again?
Yes, we're going back. Oh, God. It just looks so funny slamming my hands down on the ground. Patience is a virtue. Okay, now we go. Move. Oh
Okay,
my God.
which one? Up or down?
I'm going down.
Okay. Fun.
I'll give you the explanation. What was going on? No! I told you!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thought we had enough time.
I told you! I told you! I told you!
I'm sorry, okay?
I told you! I don't know how many times I had to tell you. I told you!
Use L1. Okay.
Now he needs to be resurrected.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I knew it. You had it out for Jay.
I did not have it out for Jay.
I told you!
I'm sorry.
I
We're going
told
that
you.
way.
Yeah, because it's the way we need to go.
I'm sorry.
I told you! I told you so! I'm gonna have to dip, but I'll see you all around.
Alright,
Alright, bye.
Press X.
I did.
Okay.
The game's actually glitching a little bit. R.I.P. Jay. Oh, Jay. All the things I should have told you. That you were a piece of shit. God damn it. Where's his body at? Now we gotta go find a dumb corpse. Oh, everybody's vomiting. What's going on? Where is he? Where the hell is he?
I don't know. Where is he?
Oh, there he is. I'll move him. Sorry, Jay. You had a good run.
Well, Duska, Jay's gonna be before you.
Imagine Jay comes into the stream and just sees everyone saying, "Rest in peace, Jay." Oh, God willing, he doesn't. I had told you so.
I know, I'm stupid.
Yes. Quite.
I'm sorry.
I lost my homie.
I'm sorry.
Look, this person's gonna go sleep over here because... Okay, we definitely need to restart the game.
Should we restart right now?
No, because we're already halfway through, baby.
Alright.
We may as well just play it. Screw it. Jay, help me, lunch wants $1, and I don't have one.
Okay, so once we restart it...
No, we're gonna... No, Jake can stay in the ground for a bit. We need to resurrect Dusk and Lunch first. And we're losing devotion because... Wait, this person's sick too? Crap! How many people are still sick? That's not good. Okay, we need to... Okay, let's heal everybody. Everybody's moving away from it.
Moving away from Moon.
Okay, let's heal up this one.
Do we have enough flowers?
You need to save first too. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that then. What the hell do you want? Pardon me, leader. I would love some of the flowers. Okay. We can do that. While we heal and fix everybody. Alright, who else is still sick?
Should we have restarted the PS4 and PS5 before we played?
Honestly, we should have, but I didn't know this was gonna happen. I don't think any of this game was gonna happen.
Bitch.
What?
We gotta make another rock.
Alright, we'll make one in a minute.
Probably off screen, guys, we're gonna play this, and everyone's gonna be alive again, and you guys don't have to worry about it.
And you won't have to worry about Moon, you know,
snoring
in y'all's ear, whispering sweet nothings. Help me! Alright.
Honestly.
Oh, hell yeah! You killed my homie.
I'm sorry.
You killed my homie.
Can you forgive me?
No.
You can remake him if you want.
killed my homie.
I'm sorry.
You killed my older brother. I knew it. You had it out for my brother. I knew it. I'll call him. I'm gonna tell him about this shit in a little bit.
You're making me feel like an asshole.
You are! I told you! I told you to wait if you didn't want to.
Can we do a resurrecting thing? Will it work this time?
I have no idea. We could try, but honestly, I think the game is glitched. Because there was an update today, guys, for those of you who don't know. There we go.
Will allow us.
You better. I'm gonna be mad. Jay, you stay on the ground for a little bit, buddy.
Look, it works now.
Alright, Dusk, look. We brought you back.
So we just gotta wait a bit. So we could probably stay on the stream until Jay is resurrected. Okay.
No, we're not gonna stay on the stream until Jay is resurrected. No. Jay's dead. That's it. He died.
So we're not gonna resurrect him?
We're gonna resurrect him off camera. Get out of the way.
You got to make.
I know I gotta make a rock. R.I.P. to the Insomniac.
Who haven't we made?
We still need to make Shiny.
Oh, which we already have a new follower, so
Yeah,
we
we can make Shiny. Yeah, make Shiny. We still need to make. We need to make Pops.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? I'll let you do it.
All right.
Killed my homie. Let everybody message Monster in the Discord or at him at the Discord saying Gummy killed him in Cult of the Lambs.
I didn't mean to.
You just let him rot.
I didn't mean to. Damn it. What do you want to be, Shiny?
Make them a bumblebee. Yeah, make them a bumblebee. Yeah, make Shiny a bee.
So, what color?
I always see them create their characters in purple and pink, so I would say purple or pink.
We'll do that purple, sure. That one?
Yep. Alright, hang on, let's see what they're, oh yeah, we gotta rename them.
So they're germaphobe.
They can't do. Oh
And
no!
gullible. Oh no! What I need to do?
Yeah, what was it? Lucy, right?
Lucy, yeah. Oh, why'd you back out?
I didn't mean to back out. It's not like I meant to.
Like I didn't mean to kill Jay!
You meant to kill him. you friend hater. Let it be known, my wife doesn't like any of my friends.
I love all your friends.
No, you don't.
I love all your friends.
No, you don't. You don't love any of them.
Hey, at least we have a major brother. That one over there. So what should we make them do?
I don't even know. We should probably make more mining areas, more chopping areas. For now, just have them more supposed to reassign everybody. Do we have a bed?
We have a bed.
Dusk, what the hell are you doing? They're catatonic. Confronted by the resurrection, they'll need to be specifically healed. Oh crap. Dusk is catatonic. Here, Dusk.
Oh.
I fixed him! There, he's back to normal.
How long does it take for it to recharge, by the way, so we can revive Jay?
I have no idea.
Can I see real quick?
He's dead. He died. That's it.
I don't think we're gonna revive Ludge, right?
We need to revive Lunge. Otherwise we lose him. We only have so much time to resurrect him.
So it is a...
We still got a lot. We have to wait, babe. We have to wait a while for it to happen. You killed my brother.
I'm gonna do this. I am sad.
You killed my brother. I told you we needed to wait. You didn't want to wait. You caused his death. You caused his demise. Best friend killer.
You're making me feel like poop. I didn't mean to.
Best friend killer.
You're making me feel like poop.
I don't know why. It's just a character. It's just a game.
True, true.
You still killed my best friend though.
Look, it revived quicker because it's gay.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
It was rainbow.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
Should we go to the new area?
No, we need to... Oh, God. How long has this stream been going on?
An hour and 13 minutes.
We can go a little bit longer.
So should we go to the new area and see what it is?
Yeah, let's go to the new
There's
area.
this black void right here that's screaming out our names.
Yeah, no. It's a smuggler area. Woo!
I'm sorry.
I'm just making her feel bad at this point. Now, who the hell are you?
He's a pirate!
Boo. Biddly boo. Bowdy booty bowdy. Love
You know, at least we brought back Dusk.
Yeah, we should have done.
Wait,
Jake
is Rob
first.
old now?
Bowdy.
Is that what it said?
That's impossible. I didn't see him in it. Oh, wait, no, he did get old. Crap.
No.
Everybody's getting old. What's this?
A fishing area.
A fishing area?
I think.
No?
Damn, dude, you're expensive.
What the hell is this? Buy a follower form.
Do you want to?
I did it.
It's
I did
random.
it. I did it. I did that. What's this?
It was random. Ah! You want to make baby?
You want to buy one?
Sure.
buy one. We'll buy one every, every other stream or whatever. What the hell is that thing?
Is that penguin?
What the hell is that thing?
I don't know.
Hang on, it says like a... Huh?
Oh! Oh, that's the relic that we needed!
Summon a new weapon with an increased level.
That's the one that we needed? Because that says Kodai's fingernail. Oh! We got it!
What the hell is it?
I don't know, but we got it! That was one of our missions! Oh.
Well, I just acquired a crab. Okay, we got another follower form. It's a crab.
Okay.
Bomb. What the hell is all this?
Those are totems. Or tarot cards.
Lava flooring. Alright, well, we checked out the new area. We should probably go to the Darkwood to hunt for flowers.
Right.
Yeah. My goodness, guys. So much has happened in the short span of a few...
So many people got old.
What? Okay, we need to check who's old and who's not. Because there's something seriously wrong here. That's a tree. Don't bother them. They're all asleep. Dude, Moon. Shut your mouth.
Can I reassign him?
No, the game's glitch, remember?
Well, it let you do the thing and didn't let me before.
Well, we could try. Hang on. Well, they're already asleep. That's the problem.
Should we wait until morning?
Yeah. Oh, nobody's sleeping here. Good. Go ahead and reassign them.
Okay. So, let's... Moon, right?
Yes, Moon.
Look, Moon, this is your new bed.
There. People should be happy now.
Look,
Moon.
that's the only reason they didn't go in. Is because...
Look, even Dusk is pissed off.
Dusk, why are you going that way, bud?
Dusk, you're going the wrong area, buddy.
So should I put Empoleon in this one?
No, I think Empoleon already has a bed.
Then why is he sleeping on the floor?
I have no idea. My God, guys, I swear. The amount of stuff that happens in this game is, like, unreal.
Wait, so where is Dusk?
Yeah, he's sleeping near the, honker. I don't know. Okay, what do we need?
We need more planks.
We have one plank.
We need more.
Well, Jay was working on it. And then he died. Dumb bastard. Money! We need money.
Why are you sleeping over there? He's so pissed off! Why are you sleeping over there then?
You asshole! Poor Dust, man. Everybody's gonna die of sleep deprivation at this point.
Because of you. It's all your fault.
Because of the big honker.
So what are we gonna give him?
Alright, well I won't be mean today.
You're not gonna be mean today?
No.
Cauliflower chowder, sure.
You probably shouldn't give him that.
Do that one. Which one do you want to do?
There. Everybody's gonna eat good today.
Not grass today.
Yeah, not grass. Everybody's good now. Everybody's happy. Everybody would get the hell out of my way.
Yay!
Oh, shit.
I thought your room was already like that.
I don't know. I have no idea. I think the game is literally broken.
I didn't mean to do that. I meant to clean up poop. Or the vomit.
The vomit.
Yeah.
Okay, we definitely need to make another outhouse. There's so much stuff we have to make.
And we have enough money for everything?
Well, we're going to.
Should I make another outhouse?
We can do it in a little bit.
Okay, so what are we doing?
Well, I'm collecting this. And we really need to spruce up this place, though.
I know we do.
I mean, look at it. It looks like a... You know what, babe? Go make Moon a better shelter, please. For the love of God, he's just sleeping in a sleeping bag. The man is literally sleeping in a sleeping bag.
But he's a snorer. He doesn't deserve it.
I move a lot. I would be fine in a sleeping bag. I'll sleep on the grass.
True.
Dusk is not happy.
Why are you so upset?
No, not you.
Dusk.
What's your problem?
What's the matter?
I'm on a seafood diet. I eat. Wow. Okay. Well, everything seems to be fine.
Seems okay.
Just looks mad.
He's just an angry boy.
Oh, it's because he's tired.
Oh, look, Gabe.
What?
It's black. What are we getting? Oh.
We're getting this because we need this.
Oh.
By the way, can y'all still hear us?
They can still hear us. They're just quiet.
Yeah, everybody's
So,
quiet.
should we view the upgrades to see what we could get next?
Sure.
So, we could get the shared shelter, so it's 3 people.
I don't think we should put Moon in one of those.
He'll be by himself.
He'll have to be by himself.
Grand shelter. Janitor station number 2.
We still need to make the first one.
Yes, I know. Ritual cooldowns. Tabernacle number 2. Shrine flame. Crypt number 2.
And what is that beside it? The morgue.
Morgue, yes. And then, what else does it have? The refinery number 2. Bone decorations. Farmer station
2. Compost. Crap. Scarecrow. Oh, that would be handy for the birds.
And look, that's a harvester.
Alright, let's go give a sermon.
Your turn.
I still can't believe Dusk got into a comatose.
Comatose state because he got revived.
I guess he didn't like being revived.
Oh shit.
Look out now.
Okay, what are we doing?
Well, we already got everything down here. We can do this one. Alright. Everything's looking great.
We hope that you guys are enjoying the stream.
I don't know how much longer we're gonna keep going for this, but
We do enjoy you guys.
yeah. But guess what? Neither one of us have eaten, so this might be a short stream.
Yeah. Grandma poop!
I got it.
Aww.
You got the last one. It was my turn. I have to go. So much is going on right now.
Yes, finish it, finish it, finish it, finish it, finish it.
Why do you want us to finish it so bad?
Because I think we have enough.
You think we have enough?
We do have enough for the confession booth.
Let's get. Oh crap.
Wanna do it?
Yeah, we can do the confession.
Okay, where are we putting it, Gabe? Right here?
Yeah, put it there. Why not? My point shot.
Oh.
Okay, chaos. Did someone say chaos? No, nobody said chaos.
Chaos!
Why are you guys? Why are y'all so hell-bent on chaos today? By the way, I am looking at everybody. Yes, hello. Hello. Sorry, I had to do my phone because for some reason it wouldn't let me see what y'all were saying.
So we do hope you guys are still enjoying the stream. Take a confession?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll go first. Oh my god, the game is glitching hard. Okay, let's see.
Who do you want to do?
Yeah, let's just go for the first one.
Bellafire.
Damien. Please enter. You need to wear a skirt before you can earn the title of Gremlin. Oh, crap! That shit's nuts.
Yeah. Confession boots are actually really good.
Holy crap. I didn't know that. We should have made that a while back. Why didn't we make it a while back?
No, because we didn't have everything. We didn't have the refined areas either.
So, I understand nothing about what's happening in the game, but I'm chilling. Yeah, this game's awesome. No! Empoleon! Son of a bitch!
Rob, you better not die next.
Yeah, somebody's sick.
Who's sick?
I don't know, but the place is... Okay, something's dirty here. We need to look around. Something's dirty around here. Oh, that could be it. This could be it, yeah. Okay, everything's clean again. Son of a bitch! I accept death, is what Rob says.
No!
No, we just lost Napoleon. Shit!
Remember whenever we first streamed this and then Rob ended up, like, just making people try to
Oh yeah, he was
go
doing...
against
Yeah,
us?
he was propagandering everything.
That's whenever we first came out.
Yeah, when we first did the game.
Look, because of that, Rob, you get to eat grass.
Oh my god, you guys are crazy. Oh.
Look, Rob, your old body is going to get the grass.
Wait, he really is gonna go eat the grass! Come on, old man, you can do it. Just a few more steps. Oh my god, I love this game so much.
Do you actually like it now?
I've liked it before, I just couldn't play it because it was too much red. But, guys, thank y'all so much for just hanging out with us. I guess we could call it here.
Yeah, we could call it here, and whenever you guys are back with us, we are definitely gonna have everybody revived.
And we're probably gonna have more stuff along the way.
Okay, well, Rob, did you want to be in there, or did you want to be in the hole?
You want to put him? You want to put him in the lonely hole?
I'm asking him because I don't know if he wants to be next to.
Nobody
lunch.
gets a choice in this game. They get a choice in how they look, and that's about it. They don't get a choice of what they eat, how they
Oh,
sleep.
look, it's nighttime.
Okay, let's see if the big honking person, that's what, pissing everybody off.
Okay, so he's right there.
Yeah, come down here, Yeah, it's him. Damn, snoring away, man.
Okay, yeah, Dusk went
Smoking
inside
all
his
that grass
room.
I
Look, he went to his bed.
Okay,
Come on, old man.
God damn, Rob.
Hurry
Taking
your ass
50,000
up.
years just to get over there. By the time you get over there, everybody's gonna be awake.
Hurry your butt up.
Alright. But yeah, I think we can call it here for tonight, guys. We hope you all enjoyed. I know it was a short stream. Y'all are gonna get another one tomorrow, which will be Payday 2. And yeah, that'll be the end of this.
Yeah, and guess what? Tuesday, you guys are not gonna have this. You're not gonna play. We're not playing this game. What are we playing?
We haven't decided yet. I can confirm this is how Rob moves.
Without coffee.
Alright, guys. We'll see you on the
later.
next stream.
Bye.
Peace out, guys! Oh, everybody's old.
Old.